It started as a normal Friday night. We were at a friend's dinner party, the kind where laughter fills the air and everyone feels like they're part of an inside joke. I had been excited to attend, dressed sharply in my navy suit, feeling good about the week behind me. My wife, Elena, looked stunning in a deep red dress that hugged her in all the right ways. She smiled at me as we walked in, brushing past a crowd of acquaintances, but there was something in her eyes, a glint of mischief I didn't immediately recognize. The evening began pleasantly. We made small talk with colleagues, laughed at shared memories, and toasted to promotions, birthdays, and absurd minor victories. But as the night wore on, Elena started to get different. She sipped her wine a little too slowly, tilted her head at me with a knowing smirk, and leaned closer as if she had a secret. I laughed along at her whispered jokes, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. It was during a group conversation about relationships that she let it slip. Someone asked casually about compromises in marriage, and Elena's response was shocking. "Well," she said, turning toward me with a playful tilt of her head, "sometimes I wonder if maybe I should trade him in for someone who actually knows how to keep up with me." Her words were coated in humor, but the sharp edge beneath them cut through the laughter like a knife. The room froze for a fraction of a second, then a nervous chuckle echoed from someone across the table. I felt my stomach tighten. The warmth I had felt at the start of the night drained away, replaced by a cold, simmering anger. Elena's eyes sparkled as she waited for me to respond. It was as if she expected me to laugh it off, to play along with her joke. But inside, I knew this was no ordinary teasing. There was an edge to it, a careless cruelty that I couldn't ignore. I set my glass down slowly, the faint clink loud enough to silence the remaining whispers. I looked at her, really looked, and saw the tiny smirk falter under the weight of my gaze. My voice was calm, almost too calm. "Trade me?" I said, letting the words hang in the air like a challenge. "You're saying you could just replace me? Like I'm a thing on a shelf?" The room went quiet. Even the most talkative guests froze, sensing the tension crackling between us. Elena laughed lightly, trying to brush it off. "Oh, come on. I was just joking. Don't be so dramatic." I shook my head slowly, my eyes never leaving hers. "I think I understand perfectly," I said. "And I think everyone here should understand too." I took a step closer, lowering my voice but keeping it sharp enough to cut through the heavy silence. "You see, marriage isn't about convenience or amusement. It isn't a game where you can swap the pieces whenever you get bored. It's about respect, loyalty, and trust. And you, Elena, just made it clear which of those you value." Her laughter faded. The room was dead silent now, every pair of eyes seemed to burn into us, sensing the storm that had been unleashed. I took a deep breath, letting the moment stretch, giving her a chance to save herself. But she didn't. She just blinked, the confidence she wore like armor starting to crack. Then I did something unexpected. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone, opening a gallery of photos and messages I had collected over the past few months. The texts were harmless at first glance, friendly, casual, but the private photos and conversations told a different story. I let the screen light illuminate her face, and as she realized what she was seeing, the color drained from her cheeks. "You've been thinking about trading me, Elena?" I said softly, almost whispering, letting the words sting more than any shout could. "Here's what I've been trading in for: honesty. And it turns out, honesty isn't as easy to replace as I thought." I scrolled through the evidence slowly, methodically, giving everyone a chance to see exactly who Elena had been texting late at night, the jokes she made behind my back, the flirtations she thought were invisible. The room's initial shock turned into murmurs. Some friends exchanged uneasy glances, while others stared, unable to look away. Elena opened her mouth, but I cut her off gently, like a teacher correcting a student caught in the act. "Don't explain. Don't try to charm your way out of this. The truth is enough." Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't soften. I let her feel the weight of her words, the consequences of treating our marriage like a casual game. "You joked about trading me for another man," I said quietly. "And I have to admit, it's ironic. Because in that moment, I realized I don't want to be married to someone who jokes about trading me at all." I realized I deserved better than this, better than someone who sees loyalty as optional. She tried to reach for my hand, her voice breaking. Please, I didn't mean it. I stepped back, letting the finality settle like dust in the air. It's too late, Elena. Words have weight, and actions have consequences. Tonight, you showed everyone exactly what kind of person you are. And I'm leaving this room, this marriage, and this life you took for granted. I hope someday you understand the gravity of your choices. The room was silent as I walked toward the door. Heads turned, some in sympathy, some in awe, some in disbelief. I didn't look back. My heart was heavy, but I felt a strange liberation, like I had reclaimed a part of myself that had been quietly trapped under years of compromise and care. Outside, the cool night air hit me like a wave. I breathed deeply, feeling the tension drain from my shoulders. I knew the coming days would be complicated, full of questions and confrontations, but at that moment, I felt certain of one thing: I had chosen dignity over humiliation, honesty over complacency. I had refused to be traded. Back inside, Elena stood frozen, the red dress no longer glamorous but almost painfully exposed under the harsh realization of her betrayal. The room murmured, some offering quiet condolences, others avoiding eye contact entirely. She had made a joke, yes, but the consequences were no laughing matter. And I had made my choice, to walk away, leaving behind the person who had once claimed to love me but had revealed her true self in a cruel jest. As I drove away that night, the city lights blurred past, and I felt a strange mixture of grief and relief. Marriage, trust, love, these were not things to be gambled or joked with. I had learned that lesson the hard way. But I had also learned my worth, and for the first time in a long while, I felt free to protect it. The next day, messages flooded in from friends who had witnessed the scene. Speechless, one wrote. "I've never seen anyone handle betrayal like that," said another. But I didn't respond. I didn't need validation. I had acted with clarity, with integrity, and most importantly, with the knowledge that I would never be someone's temporary amusement. And that, I realized, was the most powerful response of all.